Joining us now for more on all the market action, Jim Cramer. Jim, it's always great to get your thoughts. What did you make of a day like today?
Melissa, today obviously just a terrible day. The juxtaposition of Cathie Wood on Scott's show with what happened today and what will happen with Roku, the CEO, all very painful. And I think it's painful because there's a lot of new people who've come in. And you and I have been around, Melissa, and we know that people tended to buy these very exciting stories. They bought excitement. They bought price to sales. They bought stories that sounded like you couldn't, you had the future. And there you had Cathie Wood. And you heard this, Sarah. She is giving you a view which just basically says near-term price doesn't matter. But we have people who are terminal value buyers who can't have that staying power. Yes, when you go to play blackjack at the casino, it's 51.49 if you can hang on long enough. But most people can't. And what we're seeing are people who are being blown out, even as she's soothing. And I found it very disturbing.
Should we judge, Jim, should we judge her now? I mean, her highs in her ETF was February. Is the time frame too short? I understand your point. I understand that a lot of people have lost a lot of hard-earned money. But is our time frame just too short to judge, a bet on innovation?
I've been talking to many managers about that, and all of them said the same thing, which is that if it were a traditional fund, all of the money would have been pulled out because people can't afford to lose that amount. Look, I think that innovation is a terrific thing, but I think that the way it should work is you should have research people. And by the way, I thought it was a great question by Scott as anyone fired. You should have research people who are doing technology. And then it is given to people who do securities analysis, and then it's given to a trader who tries to figure out what's the correct price. She has just clearly skipped step 2 and 3. And I don't mean to. I like what Josh Brown said, and I have great respect for her. But the fact, and I would never do this SARC, this short, but the fact is she's more emblematic of the moment. And we had people who were emblematic of the moment in 2000. And they are, and I was just telling to Sarah during the break, true believers. And true believers are terrific. But, Melissa, the problem is that, as one of our guests said earlier, there are no bids for the true believers. The only real buyer of some of this merchandise is Cathie Wood. You cannot create a market yourself. Nobody's that big. I do when I see her buying things. I am shocked at what she buys and how she buys. She buys like someone who just started yesterday.
Well, but also, I think the structure of it. She's an ETF. She has to stay fully invested. She has to keep buying. I mean, the conviction, I think, is what you're talking about. So would you touch any of these ARK names?
I actually well, okay, so let's distinguish. I actually like some of these companies. I dislike the way they were bought. And I really hate something called hubris. Hubris is horrendous, okay? Humility is important. When I screw up on something, like when I screwed up on PayPal, I own it, I wear it, I'm furious at myself, but I screwed up. I would never in a million years tell you, but you just wait. You just wait, Sarah, because when that thing comes back, who the hell has the right to say that?
Well, and she also says the market is getting it completely wrong.
Well, there is no such thing as the market being completely wrong. The market is an assemblage of tremendous minds getting together, and you may think they're weighing machine, voting machine. That's all nonsense. The market is about trying to minimize losses and make as much money as possible. That's what the market is. And if you don't think that minimize losses means anything, then you should just be running your own money and nobody else's.